Hey, and welcome back to my channel where we're going over every single spoiler for the upcoming Raging Echoes League. Today is day 10 and we are just 1 week away from league start, so let's get right into it. So today Jagex decided to have 9 mini quality of life spoilers today instead of 1 big spoiler, which is great. You squash them all together and it's pretty much just one giant improvement to the game. I will kind of analyze each one individually and just kind of talk about them and how it either affects this league or future leagues. I think overall Jagex is moving in the right direction, especially because they said they want to have leagues reoccurring every year. And so let's start with the first one, which is the max cape. Now everyone will have access to the max cape. This does require you to hit 99 in every skill. So before, maybe in other leagues you were like, hey, you know what, I can just kind of skip a certain skill and forego those points. That might have been okay. But if you do want access to the max cape, which comes with a plethora of teleports, also remember you can combine it with your other back pieces, including your fire cape, infernal cape, the quiver, and so on. And so you're gonna have a really good overall best in slot back attachment, which also has a lot of utility teleports. I'm really glad Jagex brought this in. I would love to see this stay for the rest of leagues for eternity. I think it's just phenomenal and it really pays off and it becomes worth going for 99 on every skill. I know I pretty much gave up. I hit rune tier last league and I was pretty much okay with just not getting the points and pushing for dragon. And so I was okay with just not maxing all my skills. This is definitely a really good incentive, I think, overall to get to 99 for each skill. So when you are picking your regions and your relics, just make sure you have a pretty well-rounded character to kind of make sure you're able to get to 99 on every skill, because that will be important if you choose to get the points in the max cape here. Respawn time. I think this is absolutely phenomenal. Respawn times will now be almost 3 times faster in most cases and even much faster in other cases like runite rocks. The spoiler here showed trees and the text talked about rocks, but I think the hidden secret one was also going to be thieving. There's a lot of stalls that have really slow respawn times, and so this is overall super huge quality of life buff to a lot of those like utility and gathering skills like woodcutting, mining, and thieving. Now this doesn't affect things like fishing, for example, right? And so just keep that in mind. I think there's a lot of good enhancements that this is going to do. They also give a demo in the spoiler of giants also respawning much faster, which is going to be really nice since we all need to kill a giant on day 1 to start those combat masteries. Clan notification. I think this is overall just a nice fun utility. For those of you who are in a clan, I'm in a clan, and you want to have good notifications and see what, relics and things people are unlocking in your clan, I think that's really helpful to kind of have that notification. It's really fun to see these notifications drop, but I do know a lot of people aren't necessarily in clans or don't really like the spam in the chat box. So this is up for debate. Definitely leave a comment below if you're in a clan and you're excited about this, or if you're like, hey, you know what, I really don't want to see more spam that's already existing in the game. All right, melee and Zorra. Oh my God, this is absolutely phenomenal. I think we were always wondering whether we can melee Zorra, especially with the item you get from Hispori. But now we have proven, and this video shows that you can now use a halberd against Zorra. This is really good for all of you melee pickers who wanted to go Tron win, but then had to use range or mage to kill Zorra. Now you can go and hopefully you get Mauritania and get the Noxious Halberd or Crystal Halley or any other Halley, I guess. And you should be able to attack Zorra from anywhere. I think this is a huge quality of life change. It makes the boss viable for melee pickers. Not that you couldn't do it with magic or range, but now you can use your main combat style and slap Zorra around with a ton of melee damage. Mega rare voucher. Oh my God, this is absolutely bonkers. So the reason this is bonker, all right, first of all, this item will allow you to, instead of getting the mega rare drop, the Twisted Bow, the Scythe, or the Tumigan Shadow, you are actually gonna get this voucher and then you have to go turn it in. Sure, you don't get the item right away, so you can't just jump right back into the raid with that item. You have to go to the stage and swap it out, but hear me out. Because of the changes that they made to getting uniques and mega rares in, Tombs of a Basket and Tob with hard mode and 500, invocations, you're gonna be able to get this voucher whenever someone gets that mega rare voucher, right? So imagine going into a party, one person gets a voucher, now everyone gets the voucher. The best thing is you may have different combat relics than your teammates, and so you can choose the best mega rare for you. Also, this is also fixed going dry. So they don't want us to see people having like 5 shadows and 0 sights or T-bows. Pretty much you get 3 rare vouchers, you get all 3 uniques, and you are good to go. You can stop doing raids and just go start farming echo bosses, right? I think this is absolutely phenomenal. Don't forget, with the hard mode Tobs and the Tombs of a Mask at 500 invocations, you're really going to be able to leverage this really, really well. So get ready to do some raids with your friends. Instance bosses. We've seen problems like this with many of the bosses in the last few leagues, especially now that people are going to be farming Cerberus, for example, to get the Echo Orbs, and then you can farm Echo Cerberus. This has always been a great challenge. I'm really glad to see Jagex bringing instances to more monsters. It pretty much prevents, problems where leagues have a limited number of servers, and then people are fighting over a certain boss on a certain server, and that can just be very frustrating, especially when they are like kind of hard requirements to get the Echo Orb, to get the Echo items. And so I'm really glad Jagex is making the changes. This is going to be for Cerberus, Arachnus, and Thermo. And so just focus on, getting to that location. You'll have your instance and you're good to go. One thing to point out here is using the last recall won't, because now these are instance, you're going to go back out to the outside of the instance. And that's just something to keep in mind. You're not going to be able to kind of, auto instant recall and fight the boss. I don't think that's really much of a deal breaker. Most of these bosses are going to be pretty easy to kill. And so you should be able to just kind of last recall and spec out these bosses pretty quickly. Tormented Demon access. Now this is an interesting one where I was kind of like, hey, why didn't Jagex just auto-complete while Gothic sleeps as a quest? And my guess is maybe they want us to do it for a lot of experience points, and they just thought, hey, it'd just be easier to give you access just by creating a Sapphire Lantern. So just remember, get your crafting up, get a Sapphire, throw it into a Lantern, and you'll be able to access this from the underground area. And now everyone has access to Tormented Demons. Remember, these are not Slayer-bound requirements, so you don't need to be on a Slayer task for greater demons to kill these. You can just go and kill these. So as soon as you feel comfortable enough to go fight Tormented Demons and you're ready to kind of, get the Ember Light or the bow or the staff, you can go down there. I think these are some really powerful weapons. And now that it's really easy early access, it should be a no-brainer for most of us to go after early on. Duke. Okay, this is a secret buff to Fremenic, because one thing about Fremenic was farming Duke, and Duke is a little bit slow just because of all the prep you have to do with all the potions and ingredients. Now you can just stack up your inventory. This is also really powerful in leagues because you're going to have these crazy boosted relics that are going to allow you to kill the boss really fast and overall get more out of your sustain for healing and for prayer and things like that. And so you shouldn't need less resources for the boss. And now that you don't need to prep and do all of that every time for every fight, you should be able to kind of spam Duke. So for those of you who are maybe considering going Fremenic or not, this is definitely a boost to the Fremenic region overall. All right, last but not least, we have pet cosmetics. And I want to talk about this more in the greater sense of leagues overall long term as opposed to this time around. So pretty much if you got a cosmetic skin unlock for your pet in Trailblazer Reloaded, you're going to be able to use that transmog again this league for your pet, which is absolutely phenomenal. You can show off the cool lucky drops that you got or the drop that you grinded endlessly for to get. Whatever may be the case, you're going to be able to have it. Now, this is one of the few quality of life changes here that Jagex is showing that's probably going to carry on for future leagues. And you can really see Jagex's, long-term thinking mindset, right? Where they want to improve the quality of leagues and the ability to kind of show off and the value of leagues overall. So let's say you're a player who just does all the content and you've completed everything in the game you want to, you don't play that often, you will probably be coming back league after league. And so that we get to try out these new expanses like these Echo bosses, for example. And so I think overall having things like this that really say, hey, you should come back, we're going to hold on to your things for you, I think that's really, really nice. And this is really one of those Jagex's long-term plays for leagues over time. And so I think it's a really phenomenal change. It's going to be awesome to see all the cool pets and all the transmogs right at the start of league launch. And yeah, that's it for this one. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Today is day 10. Remember, leagues is just 1 week away. If you want to stay up to date on all the spoilers that are coming up day to day, definitely hit the subscribe button. If you found this video helpful at all, smash the like button. And any other thoughts and things you may think I have missed or interesting things about any of these mini spoilers today, definitely leave some comments below. And thanks for watching.